Good evening. I'm Laura Painter. You're watching ABC 10 Tonight. Families fight back after finding major mold problems in their homes. And the controversial bill that would have helped undocumented immigrants buy homes in California killed by the governor. Plus, the heat wave's over, cooler temps are on the way. ABC 10 Tonight starts now. Now to a story you'll only see here on ABC 10. A Stockton woman was just steps away from safety when a man dressed in black turned her trip to the store into a violent robbery. It comes amid an increase in robbery cases in Stockton. ABC 10's Gabriel Porras has the details.
I haven't left the house in a few days.
Because each time new mom Janine Martinez thinks about walking out of her front door, she remembers Monday evening.
We had just returned from a camping trip. I thought to run down to the store. We needed to prepare for the rest of the week. We can literally see the store if you step outside of our house.
Just 2 doors into the 1-minute-long walk, a masked man in all black strikes, getting away with her wallet.
I turned around and face him, and then he sort of pushes forward and attacks me. I feel he might do it again, unfortunately.
That's why Janine didn't want to show her face on camera.
I'm very thankful I screamed.
Those screams heard by Good Samaritans driving by who chased the suspect, ultimately getting Janine her wallet back. The robber kept running.
Or the comfortability of being able to walk through the neighborhood that I've grown up in, that has completely been robbed from me.
But she is not alone. Data from the Stockton Police Department shows a nearly 21% increase in robbery cases in the past 2 weeks compared to the 2 weeks prior. Cases like this elderly woman attacked and robbed in broad daylight at an ATM Saturday, or 2 mail carriers threatened and punched before being robbed by this man in late August.
In front of a grocery store, in front of your home, at a park, where can we be safe?
The Stockton Police Department saying its detectives are always looking for similarities or connections between cases and offering these safety tips. Remain alert and observant while out in public, have someone you know and trust accompany you, avoid poorly lit areas, hide valuables, and avoid carrying large amounts of cash and jewelry.
I've gotten so used to carrying a diaper bag, so I innocently just grabbed my wallet, and big lesson learned on my end. If I and anyone else can assist it from happening again, we should definitely do so and try to take care of one another.
In Stockton, Gabriel Porras, ABC 10.
For the second time, an Antelope housing complex is being sued for toxic mold. Now, there are new allegations of concealment and fraud as new tenants move in unaware of the problems. ABC 10's Devin Truby hears the details firsthand from residents. And Devin, it's not looking good.
No, certainly not, Laura. Look at these photos. The mold all over the walls, the cockroaches that you just saw, even mushrooms growing indoors. Everything just crawling all over the floor. Now, as part of this lawsuit filed this week against the arbors of Antelope, there are about 200 more photos that look just like this.
I was feeling nauseated. Thinking because it was my last trimester, I wasn't really understanding why I was feeling sick towards the end of my pregnancy when everything was going pretty good until I seen the black mold in my master bathroom.
Jazzy Williams, her husband, child, and newborn lived in the arbors at Antelope for a year with black mold. Working from home, Jazzy was inhaling it 24/7.
Thousands of dollars to move in, and then to be told that there's nothing that they could do. They're just going to put up a plastic tarp, and leave my family inside of this while we're missing a wall, and it's winter time.
The complex asked for them to move out this July for repairs. The cost of moving twice in 1 year was too much for the Williams. They could no longer afford California. They live in Arizona now. Nikki Chamara has a similar story. Her arbors apartment flooded during a storm in 2023.
The master bedroom got super wet on the ground. So water was seeping in through the outside, and that's when I discovered there was just mold all over the walls. My children's rooms had the mold in there, and then my kids kept getting sick. I had to go multiple times to the ER.
These are just two of about 150 people John Miller is representing. He sued the arbors and won tenants a settlement in 2023. Now he has another lawsuit against them. Besides the mold, he's also suing for fraud and concealment.
In other words, people are still moving into the complex without being told about the pre-existing conditions that exist there, such as the water damage and the mold and the mice and the rats and the cockroaches. So in our opinion, that constitutes fraud.
In California, there are several laws regarding mold, including a landlord must disclose it, respond and fix it when residents report it, and pay remediation costs.
We reached out to the owner of the complex but have not heard back. Now, there's also another complex at 6058 Riverside in South Sacramento that is also being sued for mold. Laura.
Wow, those images are really hard to believe, but the truth is stranger than fiction there. A disturbing story, Devin. We know that you'll be following it all for us. Thank you for the update.
A controversial bill aimed at helping undocumented immigrants buy their first home has officially been vetoed by Governor Gavin Newsom. This comes after a California lawmaker was hoping to make the process easier for applicants to buy their first home regardless of immigration status. ABC 10's Jeannie Nguyen has been following this bill's progress and explains why the governor made this decision.
Alex, Assembly Bill 1840 would have made it so eligible applicants would not be turned down solely based on immigration status. The Dream for All program helped first-time home buyers with down payment funds. Now the governor says he cannot support this bill when there's no funds to begin with.
In a press conference on Friday, Governor Gavin Newsom shared his reasons for vetoing Assembly Bill 1840.
The bill that was sent to me was a program that had no money, and it was expanding eligibility to a program that had no money. Seemed rather curious to me, so felt it was unnecessary, completely consistent with prior vetoes along the similar lines.
Known as the California Dream for All program, it offers up to a 20% down payment on a home or up to $150,000 to first-time home buyers. AB 1840 would make it so eligible applicants would not be turned down based on immigration status. In the program's first round, $300 million was made available, but it ran out of money in 11 days. In June, the governor's office says the program provided nearly 4,000 people with assistance to buy their first home.
I was relieved from the standpoint of my initial concerns with the bill, which are, number one, we can't afford it.
Introduced by Democratic Assembly member Joaquin Arambula, AB 1840 got a lot of pushback by Republican lawmakers.
Even if you don't have legal status, you can apply for this program. And people, I think, in general, are not in favor of expanding it to those great lengths.
Last week, Senator Scott Wiener expressed his support for the bill.
Many of them have been living here for years or decades. They're raising families here. They've started businesses here. They're working, paying taxes. They're contributing to the community, and we shouldn't demonize them.
In a statement, Assemblymember Arambula tells ABC 10, quote, "I'm deeply disappointed that Governor Newsom today vetoed Assembly Bill 1840. Arambula adds, the veto doesn't change the fact that many people, including undocumented immigrants, dream of owning a home so that generational wealth can be passed to their children.
And Jeannie, I have to ask you, do you know the status of this program and will it be reintroduced in the future?
Well, Alex, Assemblymember Arambula says he is looking forward to working with the governor on issues that will move our state forward. Now, I also did reach out to the California Housing Finance Agency for additional information on this program, but a spokesperson would not comment on anything regarding this story.
And now to our other big story tonight, the extreme heat. We have a weather impact alert because of a heat advisory, and it's impacting outdoor events, including high school football games. We have live team coverage with ABC 10's Roxanne Elias, who's live at a game that's been pushed back because of the heat. But first, we check in with meteorologist Carly Gomez with how much longer the extreme temperatures will last. Carly, when can we expect some relief?
Yeah, unfortunately, we're still waiting even through tonight. We're not expecting that heat to really let up until we get past this weekend. You'll still see a gradual decrease in temperatures, and the heat advisory does come to an end at 8 p.m. But unfortunately, temperatures will still be in the 90s at that hour. We are seeing that triple-digit heat lasting just through today with little relief tonight. I'm talking temperatures just dropping off here in our overnight lows, still in the mid to upper 60s. And then finally, this weekend, gradual weekend cooling. But just take a look at the highs so far today. 102 to 107 in the valley spots, 105 in Stockton, 104 in Modesto, and these aren't even the official highs yet. You're looking at mid to upper 90s, even in the foothills. Auburn pushing that 100 mark with 86 in Truckee. Now, watches, warnings, and advisories here across most of the western U.S. down to Los Angeles, Vegas, into areas of Arizona, all the way up to Portland and Seattle. You're looking at extreme heat with triple digits continuing for even some places even as late as tomorrow. But for most of us in our valley spots, we should see this coming to an end for your Saturday in the mid-90s. Again, this heat advisory lasting until 8 p.m. Now tonight, game of the week kicks off at 7:15. That is Roseville versus West Park. Now at kickoff, you're still looking at 97 degrees, mostly sunny, and then halftime at 89 degrees. Still very warm out there, but I know our own Roxanne Elias, she is in Fair Oaks. And Roxanne, what are administrators doing to help all the players and even parents tonight avoid this heat and to stay cool?
Well, Carly, this is something that they've been preparing for since the beginning of the week when they saw those high temperatures. And if you could take a look here behind me, actually, some of the players are just now being allowed to come out here on the field. That's because the Bella Vista High School Broncos have delayed their game about an hour just for their safety. And now earlier today, I spoke with more than a handful of school districts, and they tell me they're all doing a little something different to keep students from overheating as they still participate in any activities that are planned for tonight. This comes after the California Interscholastic Federation implemented new rules and procedures concerning the extreme heat. Schools statewide must now use a web bulb temperature device, and it bases temperatures on a color-coded chart, the color black being the danger zone. And because of the heat, San Juan Unified School District confirmed today they canceled any outdoor activities at schools from noon until 6 this afternoon. We also checked in with Natomas Unified School District. Inderkum High School Athletic Director Justin Reber says they don't have any games happening tonight, but they have plenty of protocols in place for days like today.
For example, last night we had flag football, and we just pushed the games back to 7 and 8 instead of the 5 and 6 o'clock. So we wanted to make sure that we stayed within our wet bulb range, and that we stayed, our district has a policy that if it's 103 that we're not active outside.
We also talked to Twin Rivers Unified School District that sent us a statement saying, due to the extreme heat, we are closely monitoring weather conditions and implementing precautionary measures to ensure the safety and well-being of our student athletes and coaches. We are following all CIF guidelines for extreme heat conditions. At this time, we are proceeding as planned with Friday night athletic events, but we will continue to evaluate weather conditions and make any necessary adjustments based on the latest forecast. Now back out here live, like I said, some of the players are finally getting on the field. They're trying to do everything to keep everyone safe. Both games tonight will be delayed starting an hour later. I'm live in Fair Oaks. Roxanne Elias, ABC 10.
Yeah, Roxanne, good to hear they are taking those precautions and taking them seriously, we might add. And we can't stress this enough. If you're going to go out to any football games today, stay hydrated, listen to your body. Roxanne Elias, thank you. So let's go back to our weather impact alert. We want to show you a live look outside of Golden One Center in downtown Sacramento. In just a few hours, Latin pop superstar and former Menudo member Cheyenne will take the stage. Now, it's still expected to be warm at that time, so be prepared if you are waiting outside in line. And Carly, it's also going to be a hot one for high school football tonight.
It is going to be hot overall. Luckily, in that live shot there, you did not see anyone just standing out there in the heat.
Right.
So good news is people are listening. They're feeling that heat. And make sure you're staying hydrated. So important as well. Looking at the Big Mountain backyard, it is a hot one outside right now, and something you probably want to shield yourself from. Look at these temperatures, 101 to 104 degrees right now in our valley spots. Tahoe sunny at 84 degrees, but we continue to feel this heat, and it's not dropping quickly. We're going to actually see temperatures in the upper 90s around kickoff for Friday night football. That heat advisory still in effect until 8 p.m. So even after this expires, we'll still be dealing with a lot of that heat in the 90s. Even as the game ends, you could start feeling those upper 80s, but still pretty hot. The heat risk today is major, but moving into the weekend will be moderate, and to Monday as well, with mid-90s out there. By Tuesday, Wednesday, upper 80s, low 90s. That's closer to the average this time of year, so minor heat expected. And we will continue that trend moving into next week with the upper 80s and low 90s. So that's the good news out there. But right now, we are still dealing with some severe weather potential as we see some thunderstorms moving through our high mountain spots over the Sierra Crest. And we will expect to continue to see some of that at least through the afternoon, evening. Just take a look. We do have a little bit of a low circulating north of California. An associated front is helping to draw in some moisture there. And just take a look as you can see a few of those scattered showers over the crest and some thunderstorms popping up as well. So fortunately, we're not seeing any fire outbreaks just yet. We hope that does continue. Some of the winds just moderate right now. We're seeing them about 10 to 15 miles per hour, especially in our valley spots, reaching as high with the gusts as high as about 20 miles per hour. And even over the Sierra Crest, not too bad this evening. But as we start moving into our Saturday, we will see those winds really ramping up there. So please be careful if you have plans to go camping. You want to make sure all of those fires are put out, any campsite fires that you may have, or even grilling. Make sure you're watching the grill as we are looking at some of those wind gusts picking up to even as high as about 40 miles per hour. In the valley spots, so about 15 to 20 mile per hour wind gusts are possible. Things should slow down for us as we move into our Sunday. Now, temperatures into tomorrow could still be hot for some spots, so just pay attention where you are. We're seeing them pushing upper 90s for the lower foothills, Angels Camp, areas of Sonora and Groveland, but maybe 103 there for Ione. Overnight lows in the foothills, though, in the 70s, low 70s to upper 60s. Very warm overnight with little relief. 70 to 75 degrees, San Francisco and Oakland, with 96 in Vacaville. And most of our valley spots, we will see temperatures in the mid 90s around Sacramento, but surrounding areas still may be holding on to some triple digit heat. Areas like Galt, Lodi, down to Manteca, Modesto 99 with 104 in Patterson. The further south you head toward Los Angeles, they are seeing excessive heat there as well. So pretty hot still moving into the weekend here with 101 Yuba City. So some areas may get a little bit of relief like Sacramento, but a lot of the surrounding areas on Saturday still dealing with triple digits. 94 on Sunday, 97 on Monday. But after that, here's where things begin to change. We start to see temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s with mostly sunny skies. Wednesday, we're going to keep our eye on that day. You see more cloud coverage Tuesday to Wednesday. That could mean we see some showers returning to the forecast.
And you know it's been warm when high 80s, low 90s is considered relief. But like you said, we're still not in the clear yet, especially if you want to be grilling and stuff, right?
Definitely. It's technically still the warm season. And, you know, this time of year, near average temperature, so pretty normal.
Sounds good. Carly, thank you. Be work zone alert. That's what Caltrans is asking drivers to do for the safety of themselves and others when traveling on our freeways. ABC 10's Jordan Tolbert visited a work zone along Business 80 and tells us what she learned.
According to the most recent numbers from Caltrans, 101 people died and 323 were seriously injured in California work zones in 2022. Max Alvarado is a maintenance manager, and he's worked on numerous freeway projects in his 2 decades with Caltrans.
Yeah, you know, it's actually very scary to work on the side of the freeway. You come out here every day, and to be honest with you, you don't know if you're going to go home at the end of the day. Right. A lot of the times, they're so close, and like I said, you know, trucks go by doing 50, 60 miles an hour, and they blow your hard hat off. Sometimes they hit the cones, and sometimes they even come into a lane closures.
And that's why Caltrans is really trying to bring attention to their Be Work Zone Alert campaign to protect you and the people you might see working on the freeway during your commute.
We want all the workers to get home safely. These are people. These are real people. Moms, dads, grandparents, cousins, aunts, uncles, children, and they all have families to go home to.
Wayne Wilson, safety campaign manager with Caltrans, says you'll know when you're in a work zone because they're marked by utility barriers, pavement markings, signs, cones, and of course, amber lights.
If you're driving through a work zone and you see those flashing amber lights, slow down. If it's safe to do so, please move over. Eliminate the distractions and proceed with caution when going through any work zone and when you see those flashing amber lights. That's imperative, and it's also the law.
Alvarado says there's not much separating them from cars, just K-rail or cones. He tells me he's seen all types of distracted driving on the job.
Some of the things that we're seeing is people texting and driving with their knees, trying to read newspapers, trying to do makeup. We see all kinds of things, and they're not paying attention to the construction zone. That's why we are here, you know, trying to tell drivers to slow down, pay attention, and and just allow yourself enough time.
And speeding through a work zone can also be expensive. Penalties and fines double in work zones. So if you're caught speeding, you could end up paying more than $1,000, and your insurance could also go up.
If you are looking to get into the spooky spirit, you can head on over to Universal Studios Hollywood.
Very scary what's happening right here.
Yeah.
And this is where Halloween Horror Nights is underway, and ABC 10's Marquez Allen gives us a look at the frightening fun.
Yes, some frightening fun, and they're not kidding around. Look, Northern California has great haunts, but at least 250,000 of you are coming down for Hollywood Horror Nights, one of the biggest. And like I've said all morning long, something that's new this time around, The Weekend, Nightmare Trilogy, also Insidious, a lot of the other usual names. If you know it from a horror movie, it's represented here at Hollywood Horror Nights. Check out last night. It was madness. 25,000 people in the first hour poured through the gates to experience all of these amazing things taking place at the park. In addition to all of the usual rides, the Weekend's ride had people backed up for a little while, but it was truly amazing once you got inside. A big announcement, they just announced they are going to do something like this year-round, but I'll get more information about that a little bit later on. All right, so this movie that opens next week, very scary, Speak No Evil, check that out. Blumhouse, that is the master of all things horror. Let me explain who you're going to see in this interview from the red carpet last night. That guy, Jason Blum, the most profited horror movie producer this century, and then our friend Petrie Hawkins-Byrd from Judge Judy. I surprised him while he was surprising Slash from Guns N' Roses, if you look very carefully. Kid from High School Musical, and then Lynn Shay, the queen of insidious horror. Take a look. I've always said, like Walt Disney, what he was to animation and films last century, you are to horror and adult suspense this century. So with that said, how cool is it to have your own ride?
It's amazing. It's amazing, and thank you for saying that. That's a real compliment. I mean it. And it's great. It's great. We've never had the Terror Tram before, so it's new for me. I was just taking a picture of the poster, so I'm excited about that.
So awesome. In case you wonder about the poster, that's the lovely art right down there. What can we experience? What's it about?
Well, it's got 4 movies. It's got Megan, Black Phone. I'm cheating right now. Happy Death Day.
I love that you're looking. You're cheating as your own art.
I haven't done it yet. I haven't done it yet. So I'm excited to do it, but I haven't done it yet. And then we have the Purge as a water event here, and then we have a maze, which is Insidious. So we have 7 movies and 3 rides here. So it's a lot of Blumhouse, which I'm excited about.
It's awesome.
I do. Pleasure.
Officer Byrd, you just hung out with Slash. How was that?
That's how you do it, man. You know, you go, hey, Slash, guess who I am? And he's standing there confused. I was like, good, let's get this picture while you're confused.
You said, I love Guns N' Roses, I love Aftershock, and he said, I loved you in Fear Farm too.
You know, I loved him when he played with Michael Jackson. You remember that?
No, I know. Think about the history that just stood beside you.
Man. That's it, you know. Slash is slashing, you know. But then again, I'm me. I'm me.
I feel like the first real horror movie I saw that genuinely terrified me was Insidious, and I still love those movies and watch those movies all the time. So
I still hear Lynn Shay's voice in my head. So how weird is it to know that Lynn Shay from Insidious is just down the red carpet?
I did not even see.
You gotta double back.
What the heck? I gotta go say hi. I'm gonna freak out.
You beam joy and positivity, yet at the same time, you probably creep some people out. Is that a gift as well?
I think I love to inhabit other people and other characters.
You are lucky my husband is not here. He would shoot you. Now get out!
Lynn Shay, very scary. Hollywood Horror Nights now through November 4th. Look at what I stumbled upon. Look at this line already forming. Good morning! But this just in, that is not about Hollywood Horror Nights at all. This just coincidentally happens to be opening up today. Hello Kitty, Friends Cafe. That's the next big deal. That's what they're lining up for now. Oh, how demure. How very demure, you Kitty Cafe. Back to you in the studio. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too, Mark. Now I'm definitely going to be Hello Kitty for Halloween now. Put that in my head.
All right.
For more info on Halloween Horror Nights, head to abc10.com/links.
You never know what you'll see on the back roads. Tonight, John Bartel takes us along a very special ceremonial fishing trip.
When you come to this area, you always wanted to say hi and say thank to the Creator for, giving us the opportunity to come down to fish for your people and to have this land still.
Just before summer's end, the Karuk people make a pilgrimage to the center of the world by following the fish-filled waters of the Klamath River.
Creator has made it to where these fish show up at this time to feed the people up here doing ceremony. It's like a perfect balance. You kind of corral the fish, spook them in the net, and you got to turn it over. And when you turn it over, it locks them in the net.
It's here at Ishi Fishy Falls near the town of Samsbar where the Creator slows the fall run of salmon just long enough to celebrate the World Renewal ceremony.
And everybody that is involved with the ceremonies of fish, we find our identity again. We find our spirituality. We find ourselves.
In the Karuk language, Karuk means upriver or upstream people. And for generations, they've been risking their lives, jumping on rocks and balancing on wood planks to fish some of the most turbulent waters on the Klamath River. Today, the Karuk are one of the last tribes in California to actively fish with traditional dip net poles.
By way of ceremonies and creation stories. So that's what kind of keeps us here, and these poles right here have not changed.
Ronald Reed Sr. has fished more World Renewal ceremonies than he can remember. But this one, he won't forget.
Coinciding with the World Renewal ceremony is dam removal on the Klamath River.
Undam the Klamath! Bring the salmon home!
For the first time in 100 years, salmon can freely swim up the Klamath River. On August 28, 2024, construction crews broke through the fourth and final dam that blocked more than 400 miles of native fish habitat.
I fought so hard, fought so long. I feel so accomplished.
Let the river flow. Fish need water.
Ronald was among the many indigenous people who spent the past 20 years fighting to remove the 4 dams that cause sickness, algae blooms, and fish kills down the river.
One of the big things that we're looking for right now is a rejuvenation, a revitalization of our culture, our people, and our society.
The Karuk are salmon people who fish the way of their elders, but now preserve the future of salmon through science.
For, I would say over 20 years, we've been doing scale sampling for aging fish, and we've been doing genetic sampling, and we're also doing disease studies.
The Karuk tribe has their own fisheries department that collects scientific data on the health of salmon, and although the dams on the Klamath River were just removed, Kenneth says he's already seeing a change.
It's we have way less algae, way cooler water. Yes, we do have some sediment in the water because of dam removal, but the fish seem healthy and they're silver, and this river is probably the best quality I've ever seen it.
Salmon fishing with the Karuk tribe along the Klamath. I'm John Bartel. Hope to see you on the back roads.
Now it's your turn. If you have something that you think would be a great road trip destination, make sure you let John know all about it. Text your idea to 916-321-3310.
Thank you for watching ABC 10 Tonight. And remember, we're here 24/7 on the free ABC 10 Plus app, where you can always get your news and weather anytime, anywhere.
Only on ABC 10.
90% of these dudes are coming home. They're getting out.
San Quentin, one of the most notorious prisons, is taking the lead on new approaches to rehabilitation.
We get guys on a daily basis that have been in prison 30 to 40 years that break down by just getting a chance to pet a dog.
Are communities safer because of it?
We can still have a security mindset, but still treat people like people.
Go inside San Quentin after Monday Night Football, only on ABC 10.